Memories from the Day of Liberation from World War II, May 8, 1945. How can I ever forget that day? Even though I was very young, 9 years old, the jubilation still rings in my ears. Minesweepers, cruisers, and other military vessels were filling the Stavanger harbor. Flags flying from anywhere you could hang them. Church bells were ringing, and the whole city was on its feet. I felt the ecstasy just as acutely as everybody. Downtown, passing the post office, a distinctive corner in Stavanger at that time, I remember a seemingly endless convoy of jeeps, filled to capacity with servicemen, British and American. People went almost wild, cheering and waving, and the soldiers responded just as jubilantly. As in every home, my family had gathered at our house to celebrate. How I came to be out on the street at the same time, I can't explain. No matter. I saw two uniformed men coming toward me. Excited, I walked up to them and invited them to meet my parents. Who was more surprised, the officers or my family, is hard to say. One officer turned out to be Norwegian, the other British, Mr. Hooper. So all three of us walked up to the front door and rang the bell. My surprised mother opened the door and, of course, invited us in. What the gentlemen and everyone else were thinking, I never knew. It was an impulsive outburst of jubilation on my part. Later on, Mr. Hooper became a frequent guest in our home. I especially remember him trying to teach me the word D-O-G, dog. It went totally over my head. Not a clue. The streets downtown were littered with papers raided from Nazi-occupied offices and businesses. Gone were the days with darkened streets, blockades, barbed wire, air raid sirens blasting in the middle of the night, deprivation of free speech and property, the lack of food and clothing, and so much more. It has taken me decades to muster motivation to read about the war, much less speaking and writing about it. Perhaps I had overheard conversations among adults that were not for my young, impressionable ears. To this day, I can't bear the sight of a motorcycle with a sidecar, or the green German officer's uniform with a turned-up cap, and especially not that ever-present swastika.